coastal flooding. We've got all of those things. Let's start with a look at some of the latest rain reports. Almost 4 inches of rain. Well, just over 3 inches of rain in West Hampton out in western Massachusetts. Keep in mind, we've got a lot of flood warnings out there because of the amount of rain that's fallen and the fact that it's still raining quite heavily. 2 inches or more in Sherburne as well as Middleborough. We've got over an inch of rain in Newburyport and Jamaica Plain and Northbridge. I thought this was a good sampling of the area and the fact that we've had a lot of rain, and the problem is it's still pouring in a lot of communities. Power outage potential, and I should say this is the best chance for wind damage reports in general, will be down across southeastern Mass, where we anticipate some of our strongest gusts now through about lunchtime today. You can see anywhere has at least a slight chance of getting the power out, of getting a tree limb or even a tree down, because the ground is absolutely saturated. On top of that, we're watching the coast, especially the south coast of New England, for the potential for pockets of moderate coastal flooding, especially up around Narragansett Bay. We've got the east coast of Massachusetts seeing a couple pockets of minor coastal flooding, specifically the North Shore and the seacoast has the best chance of that between about 1 and 5 o'clock this afternoon. Those south coast beaches, though, we're watching around the noon high tide today, and that's just where we have the better chance. Some of these ocean exposed beaches, by the way, going to see massive waves out there for today. You can see the green that we have for the North Shore and the South Shore. This is a light to moderate rain, but the yellows from Boston westward into the oranges and the reds, this is a really heavy rain, and this is why we have flood warnings out in western New England right now. We're going to see more of these issues develop over the next few hours as heavy rain continues and some of it glides eastward. So from Worcester to Boston, expect slow going, expect a lot of ponding water, if not flooded roadways out there wherever you're trying to go. You need to be carefully. We never want you driving through a flooded roadway. Even at 3 p.m. with kids coming home from school, we've still got a decent amount of rain in the mix. These showers are slated to wind down between about 4 and 5 p.m., which means the evening commute will be drying out, but there's still going to be some lingering puddles out there. We could still be seeing cleanup underway where there's flooding or where there's wind damage. So just because showers are coming to an end doesn't mean it's going to be a perfect drive home from work later today. Temperatures in the 60s. We're on a weather alert for wind damage and downpours today, and then this evening we're going to be able to drop our weather alert. Evening temperatures dip back into the 50s. We've got clearing skies and a bit less wind, and then you can see temperatures set to drop for the rest of the week. So today, temperatures like 20 degrees above average. Rest of the week, we're looking at highs in the 30s and 40s, really where they should be this time. Gusts, because gusts are picking up to the point that we're going to start seeing more of these wind damage reports and more power outage reports. Gusting 55 miles per hour in New Bedford, 46 in Plymouth, and we've got a lot of light rain over the Cape. It gets a little more intense as you get out towards Lakeville and Braintree. You could see Boston, Norwood, Foxborough, lots of yellows on the map where we do have some moderate to even heavy rain. It's gusting nearly 50 miles per hour in Norwood and 52 miles per hour right now in Worcester. So with saturated soil, that makes us even more likely to see some trees come down, some power lines affected, and of course debris on the roads as well. So these are all impacts from the wind that you're going to have to stay conscious of, especially through early afternoon. So some of our worst travel weather happens this morning through lunchtime. During the afternoon, I'd say after about 3 p.m. we start getting into improvements, and it's actually set to dry out during the evening commute. But the rainfall forecast in some spots is going to exceed 3 inches of rainfall, which is why we are looking at some localized flooding.
Everyone, I'm Catherine Parada.
And I'm Rachel Keller. We are in for a nasty day of weather. Yeah. It truly is a messy commute. I mean, we have thousands of power outages as well.
Yeah, debris on the roads, huge puddles, if not flooding on some of the local roadways as well. So our weather alert is twofold, everybody. We've got the flooding and the rain, and we've got the wind damage and the gusts on the other hand. Right now, this is a look at where our gusts stand right now, and if it's gusting into the upper 50s, like in Providence, it's gusting 55 in Plymouth right now, 49 Boston, 47 in Worcester. This is getting us into the territory in the time of the day where we are expecting to see more and more power outages, more and more of these damage reports coming in as well. On top of that, we've got a steady heavy rain from Boston back through about Worcester and down to Providence this morning. So it's going to be just a nasty morning. On top of that, I mean, we've barely even talked about visibility because it's the least of my concerns. It's going to be a nasty, foggy, wet day out there, and that's the way it's going to roll until about mid-afternoon. After that, we do get some improvement. So in time for the evening commute, we're going to be dry again, but we've got to get through a soaker of a morning commute first. Good morning, everybody. Weather alert in place all day long. We're expecting some localized flooding. We're expecting some areas of wind damage as well. It is going to be a very busy day. In fact, some areas expected to exceed 3 inches of rainfall, and that's where we're going to have some of the biggest issues with some flooding out there. Notice that we're keeping you on a weather alert all morning into the afternoon. We're going to be able to drop it in time for the evening commute because that's around the time showers will taper off. Some of the worst of it happening this morning through early afternoon. Yes, it's going to be mild and with highs in the 60s today. We are just forecasting rain, but I mean, we're talking inches of rain out there. We're talking strong wind gusts, especially coast and Cape, 50 to 70 mile per hour winds, where we have the best chance for not just wind damage, but some power outages as well. Notice after this, the forecast really does quiet down for the rest of the week. I'll have the latest on the Boston 25 Morning News until 11 a.m.